Welcome back, everyone. My name is Echo. Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. In today's Minecraft video, we are back on Minecraft Pocket Edition, the Bedrock version, for a brand new full release. This is the version 1.18.30, and this is now available for Minecraft on iOS, Android, Windows 10, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation. Here is your official confirmation from J Megaspud, Community Manager. You'll no doubt be pleased to hear that 1.18.30 is rolling out to all platforms today. It may take 24 hours to reach all platforms. It includes tons of fixes, vanilla parity changes, experimental features, and more. Now, if you want the changelog, it is down below. Today is a very good day. Now, just as a reminder, this is probably the biggest changelog we have ever seen for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This is the combination of two updates. It is 1.18.20 and version 1.18.30 combined into one. This should technically be the last 1.18 version before we see the introduction of the Wild update, which of course fully introduces the Warden, the Deep Dark, and Ancient Cities. It has taken me about 4 hours to set up today's world. There is so many changes, so if you could be kind enough to drop a like, I really appreciate it. Starting with changes. They have updated Create New World Experience. It says Create New World is being updated with improved navigation, more descriptions, and a new look and feel. It will be rolled out gradually across Android, iOS, Windows, and Xbox, starting today. It then says, we are still working on some things like support for other platforms, screen narration, the trial version of the game, and the Japanese language. We need some more time to work on these features in order to provide the best possible experience. They are talking about this menu. The UI has been a work in progress for a very long time. Now, it is slowly starting to roll out. You might not see it today, you might not see it tomorrow, but this will gradually be available for platforms such as iOS, Android, Windows 10, and Xbox. There's no news about PlayStation or Switch, which is kind of unusual, but it will be coming in the future. Again, it might not necessarily be there right now because for me, it's not there. It's still the old Create New World screen. I reckon within the next 24 to 48 hours, most platforms should have this. But again, if you don't see it, don't worry, you're not alone. If you've owned or own a realm, listen up. There has been some changes to Realms World Storage. We are cleaning up expired realms that have been collecting dust. Realms that have been cancelled for more than 18 months will be deleted. So even if you don't have your realm active, but you still have a really cool world that you created when you did have a realm, make sure you download it because it will be gone forever. Moving on to RenderDragon. Listen up if you play Minecraft on iOS and Android and you like shaders. It says the new Minecraft Bedrock rendering engine, known as RenderDragon, is now live on Android, iOS, Switch, Windows 10 UWP times 86 builds. Consolidating onto our new graphics engine will allow us to continue investing in future performance and stability improvements, as well as exciting new features for Minecraft. So shaders as of today no longer work for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, in the technical update part of Minecraft, it says RenderDragon, and it says here, we know the community has found ways to build shaders on top of HAL, and with this change, these shaders will no longer function. We understand that this is a valuable feature for players, and the creator community, and we are working on how we may be able to deliver this sort of creative capability to players and creators in an officially supported way. While we have nothing new to share right now, look out for more details in the future. As of today, shaders no longer works on any platforms of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Let's hope that something comes sooner rather than later. It does say that this technical update shouldn't impact gameplay or experience. But if you run into any new issues, please file feedback so the team can investigate. Moving on to Vanilla Parity, Java Edition Parity. It says world seeds can now be created with 64-bit seeds. This is what it says in the official changelog. Worlds can now be created with 64-bit seeds. And then there's loads of numbers in brackets. And it says these seeds can be used between Bedrock Edition and Java Edition to produce the same world. So if you now find a seed on Minecraft Java Edition, you can use it on Bedrock, and also vice versa. It then says non-numeric seed UI inputs now produce the same seed as Java Edition. It says acacia trees now grow leaves on every branch below y equals 0. We got a bug report. Strange one, but I did go over this in the beta experience. Basically, if you were below y equals 0, part of your tree would be missing leaves. That no longer happens. Moving on to gameplay changes. Tweaked hunger depletion rate to better match Java Edition, which I will explain in a second. Players can now properly lose hunger when sprinting or swimming. Players lose significantly less hunger when jumping. Extortion rates can now be tweaked in behavior packs. Players flying in creative mode are no longer pushed by liquid current. So let me go over these changes. Now to do this, we're going to go to / game mode S. This one specifically right here, tweaked hunger depletion rate to better match Java Edition. So when you're jumping and sprinting and moving around now, it will take quite a bit of time for your hunger to deplete. Again, just matches Java Edition. It's just a parity change. I think a lot of these changes are in preparation for the Warden to finally be introduced. But you can see we've been doing a lot of jumping around and we are not losing any hunger at all. So that's a pretty good change. But also remember that if you plan on swimming now, you will actually lose your hunger. On Bedrock Edition, I don't think it happens properly, but that is definitely an important change. And that's what I've showed you there. Players lose significantly less hunger when jumping. Great if you like to do speedruns or manhunts and things like that. And extortion rate can now be tweaked in behaviors packs. And this one right here is just so if you have flowing water, let's go and put some over here. And if you're in creative and you drop down into the water, you can see that we are not pushed by the current at all. Moving on to mobs. Shulkers can now have a chance to spawn another shulker when hit by a projectile. This is a tough one to repeat, but I'm going to try and do it, right? So I need to get that shulker right there to hit this one. Now, when it hits this one, it actually has a chance to duplicate that shulker, and it's just happened right there. That hit that one, and then it produced that one. So if you guys now want to create shulker farms on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is now possible. When a mob picks up an item, the item can now be seen slightly pulled towards the mob right as it picks it up. This matches the behavior on Java Edition, and the best way I can show this is probably going to be... Nope, let's try it again. Let's throw this on the floor. Come on, Mr. Villager. Let's get another one. We'll put the villager over there. You can kind of see it being sucked up towards the villager. Only a basic visual change, but it matches Java Edition. Drowned can no longer spawn where the block light level is above 0. So again, mobs have to have a light level of 0, so you won't get the drowned spawning anymore. It says bees no longer become angry when beehives are destroyed by silk touch. Let's go to game mode S. let's grab ourselves one of these. We got a couple of bees. If we do this, they're no longer angry at us. Strangely enough, if you do it with your hand or something, no, you betcha they're gonna come for you. Untamed wolves can now be leashed. Again, a very basic change here. Wolf, leash, and you can take them home. Although it still goes through my head, Minecraft. How many times is it gonna take for you to fix this one issue? That is super annoying. Mobs can no longer spawn on campfires. The Ravager now targets and attacks the Wandering Trader. We do have a bug report. So again, it's been an issue for quite some time, back since 1.17, but you'll have a video here. This user has a Ravager and is placing down the Wandering Trader, who does recognize that it is a Ravager and tries to run away. But you'll notice, the Ravager's not interested. Mobs spawned from a dispenser are now persistent. Blocks, falling blocks, once again, have full block hitbox. Moving on to another change. Changed block tick rates for cactus, chorus flower, crops, grass, pointed dripstone, and saplings to match Java Edition. Again, feel free to read the changelog if you're interested in that. Cauldrons now only fill with water and lava by dripstones that are below water and lava source blocks. So you'll see here, there's no water in this one or lava in this one because the water source is now flowing. If you prevent the water and the lava from flowing, and it's actually the source block, so this one and this one, we will actually have the chance of this filling up with water and lava. So when you're doing this, make sure you have it as a source block. I typically do it like this. See what I mean? Like, I don't really worry about any of this back here. Just have that there. And the same with this one. Like, you don't got to worry about these. That's probably the best way to do it. Just remember that it's just like one block of water and lava. And this, yep, it's starting to fill up. Same with the lava. TNT blocks now correctly move in a random X and Z direction once lit. Glow lichen no longer generates hanging in the air inside strongholds. So there was a problem where this stuff was literally everywhere in strongholds. Now it doesn't generate there at all. Glow lichen now correctly checks for the face of the block they are attached to be a full block. So glow lichen, not only was it just randomly generating in strongholds, but it was also randomly generating in the air. Now it checks for the block that it's trying to attach to. Glow lichen can now be attached to leaves, so it can now be attached on all sides of the leaves. Blocks such as glow lichen, torches, and redstone can no longer be placed on or attached to brewing stands. So any of these items that you've previously attached to this, it's no longer possible. But good news, blocks such as glow lichen, torches, and redstone can now be placed on or attached to trap doors depending on their state. This is a really, really good change, this. So, yep, have them like this. I think you can attach, let me try this. Let me get rid of this one real quick. Can you attach that there? No, you can't attach it there. However, if you have it like this, glow lichen can go there, redstone torch can go there, your torch can go there, and redstone can go there. Super useful. More importantly, though, if we grab ourselves a, let's try flower pot. If you put a flower pot, now these, again, my favorite thing, designing is going to be a little bit better for Minecraft Bedrock players. It says, azaleas and lily pads can now be broken by flowing water. If we place this here, it is going to break the item. It's the same with the lily pads as well. That was previously not a thing. Moving on to items. The player's arm no longer twitches while charging a bow. We got a bug report. Bow pullback animation in third person is broken. We do have a video here. Check this out. Your arm starts to freak out a little bit. That no longer happens. And I can show you right now, my hands are completely fine. There was a few issues with this in the nether as well. I'm not entirely sure if that's also being fixed. But my hands are still doing weird things, but it's no longer shaking and freaking out. So definitely improved. Unfortunately, nether brick, iron/gold nuggets, red/brown mushroom blocks, and chorus plant/flower blocks can no longer be used as fuel in a furnace. Strangely enough, these were classed as a fuel for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It's now matching Minecraft Java Edition. Water and lava buckets can now be used on waterlogged blocks such as light blocks or big drip leaf, and we do have a bug report. You cannot place water/lava in a swampy light block. You'll see here they have the light block there, but you cannot fill it with water or lava. You can see here it just doesn't seem to work at all. So that's been fixed. So if you have the light block and we fill it with water now, you can actually fill it up. And this is the same with the big drip leaves as well. You can actually use water on them, and you can also use lava as well. There is a lot of combat and damage changes. We did go over all of these in the previous betas in a lot more detail, but I will very briefly go over these changes so you know what this is. Improved accuracy of damage calculations. So that's how much damage you do to a mob or to a player, etc. Fixed some issues where damage and vulnerability wasn't being applied. The camera shake now shakes the same way it does in Java Edition when the player receives damage. So basically, when a Bedrock player takes damage, they take damage from left to right. Now it's from right to left. Let me show you. Player damage screen shake is broken. Now this is very, very quick. So you can see here, it dips down left and then goes up on the right, right? You can see it very quick there. Hey, just keep an eye on this. I know it's very, very fast. Let me show you what it's like for Bedrock in-game now. / game mode S. So you can see I take damage the other way now. So let's do it one more time. Game mode survival. We're going to do it to survival again. You can see we take damage the other way. Fixed an issue where the protection enchantments mitigated too much damage. This has been changed to match Java Edition. Now there is a lot of information on this bug report, but it just says level 4 protection enchantments are much more powerful than they should be. And this bug report literally compares the damage between Bedrock and Java Edition. In short, the protection enchantment protected Bedrock players more than it should have compared to Java Edition. They are now equal. Feel free to go to this bug report to understand it in a little bit more detail. Absorption hearts no longer stay yellow while under the wither effect. So the best way to explain this one is /effect at P, and we do wither. We do it for 10 seconds. We can see we have black hearts. When we eat this now, it was showing that the top hearts would be regular yellow hearts. It only registered for your normal red hearts. That now does not happen. And you can see here, every single heart is going to be black. They have added armor toughness. It says diamond armor and netherite armor now have a toughness value of 2 and 3 respectively. Let's go to the wiki page. So I am still learning this. It's a new attribute that has been added by default to armor. This does not entail your turtle shell, leather armor, golden chain, or iron. The toughness attribute is added to diamond and netherite only. And it just says armor can further protect the player through a second attribute. And this attribute is called toughness. It says with each piece granting 2+ toughness for diamond and +3 for netherite. So it's basically like extra protection on the higher tier armors. Tweaked armor reduction calculation to account for toughness. Netherite armor will now reduce more damage than diamond armor. Lowered the amount of knockback resistance granted by netherite armor. Now, again, a very, very good one here. I'm just going to put my armor on. As you guys are aware, by default, netherite armor has +1 resistance. This was pretty insane last time. So what I'm going to do here is get a / game mode S. I'm going to hit him. In fact, let's do / summon iron golem. We're going to hit the iron golem here. You'll see here that the knockback is not exactly super high in the sky. So that is a fix that they have done. Punching deals less damage now to better match Java Edition. So, your mobs like creepers. When you're punching them, it's going to take a long time. I think it's like 20 or 21 punches now. Let's try this though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 20 for a creeper now. Oh boy, it's going to take a little bit of time. Damage is now calculated more accurately by properly calculating and storing partial damage for larger damage. I'm not entirely sure what this means, so I do apologize. Next up, mobs across higher and lower difficulties had their damage adjusted slightly accordingly, meaning that if you're on a lower difficulty, mobs aren't as strong. If you increase it to hard, they're going to be a lot tougher to beat. Mobs with knockback resistance, e.g. Ravager or Zoglin, now receives less knockback when hit by an Iron Golem. And I want to show you this one because previously this was insane. Again, very similar to how it works for the player. Let's put this, that's not how you do it, Echo. You've been playing Minecraft a long time. Let's put it down. Let's put the Zoglin down. You'll see here that the Iron Golem doesn't yeet. The thing is high. I don't know what he's doing there though. He seems slightly broken there. Let's get some iron nuggets. Iron things. Let's heal him a second. Come on. Round 2, Ravager. You'll notice now though that the hitting up in the sky is, well, not as crazy as it used to be. It used to be all the way up here, so they have fixed that. Armor and protection reduction calculations have been made more accurately. Dragon's Breath attack now properly deals damage. Protection enchantment now properly works on most damage types. We got a bug report. Protection enchantment doesn't provide extra defense against magic attacks. So from my understanding, protection worked against Evoker Fangs, Ender Pearl, throwing, and suffocation in water. However, unlike Java Edition, on Bedrock Edition, protection didn't protect players against insta damage, poison, wither, fatal, dragon's breath, or suffocating in solid blocks. These are meant to be extra bonuses while having the protection enchantment on. They've now matched it to Java Edition. So just to give you a small example here, if we go to game mode survival, now we put this armor on. If you keep an eye on my hearts, once I start suffocating right now, you'll notice that I don't start suffocating straight away because I have armor on. I just want to get my hearts all the way up and show you this. But if we're standing below this, we dig down, let's say 2. Just keep an eye on my hearts. When I'm starting to suffocate, I won't die or take damage instantly. But no damage there. No damage there. And you can see that protection is kind of saving me a little bit here. Now, if we were to change this and do that in survival, it would be a completely different experience. We would start to suffocate instantly. So now the protection enchantment is even better. Landing on Stalagmite is now properly considered fall damage. These things are more deadly. Be careful. Blaze Fireball will deal knockback on impact. Blaze Fireball, Fang Attack damage, and Shulker Bullets now deal consistent damage across all difficulties. Oh boy, so if you like to play on the easier version, it might be a little bit tougher now. Small Magma Cubes do slightly more damage from 2 to 3 on normal. Am I the only one who thinks Magma Cubes on this version are insane anyway? Spiders deal slightly less damage from 3 to 2 on normal. Baby Zoglins deal slightly less damage from 1 to 0.5 on normal. Baby Zoglins now attack players for 0.5 damage on normal. Skeleton melee attack does slightly less damage from 3 to 2 on normal. Wolves deal slightly more damage from 3 to 4 on normal. Fixed an issue that was causing entities to not be protected from fire damage by the fire resistant effect. Fixed a desync issue that could sometimes cause health to regenerate only visually. Changes with villages. Updated villager trade tables for armorer, clerk, fisherman, shepherd, toolsmith, and weaponsmith to match Java Edition. Fisherman Boat Trade now changes wood type based on villager biome type. So this villager right here, he's in the plains, so he's going to offer me an oak boat. The next one is clerks now offer glowstone instead of glowstone dust. So it's a little bit better now. It's down here. Will cost you 4, but it will be a full block. Weaponsmith Enchanted Iron Sword trade is now at Novice, which is the first set of trades, which is right there. We managed to get Smite. Armorer Diamond trade moved to Journeyman, which is the third set. I think it's this one, Diamond to an Emerald, although anyone who's doing that is pretty insane. And then it says here, cartographers now always unlock Woodland Explorer map. Previously, it would just be either an ocean map or a woodland map. Now you will get both. Regarding the cartographer, doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't know about old villages. It will probably have to be new villages rather than new ones. Sorry, have to be new ones rather than old ones. Fixed an error where journeyman clerks would offer glowstone dust instead of glowstone blocks. So it was actually an error. Farmer villagers can now use bone meal on crops and can turn excess seeds into bone meal in composter. Now, unfortunately, my villager has disappeared, but basically, you can actually throw tons of seeds at a farmer villager who will now pick them up, and the excess ones that he doesn't need, he will start doing this. He will start composting it until it produces bone meal. So, go and try this with your villagers. It's a really, really good change. Okay, experimental features. It does say, though, as a reminder, remember to make regular backup copies of your favorite worlds before you enable this feature. Once you turn experimental on your world, if you use that world, you cannot go back to the regular version. It will be experimental. They have added Deep Dark Biome, added Ancient Cities, added the Warden, added Sculk blocks, and added the Darkness effect. Now, what I do want to say is that this is not the Warden in the most recent beta and preview, which means not all the sounds are there and it's not perfect. But the Warden is there. It will also instantly dig down underground. Doesn't like daylight, but that will change. Now remember, we do have these Sculk blocks as well, and if we get ourselves a sword real quick and we get ourselves a creeper, please remember that if you kill mobs around this block, we'll put another one here. We do this. It will spread. It will spread, and your XP will then be locked inside the Sculk blocks. So the Warden is here. It is bigger and better and beautiful than ever. Let's go to the Deep Dark. Let's go to the Ancient Cities. And here it is. This is your Ancient City, featuring the Deep Dark Biome. So this is where you'll find your Sculk blocks. And this is where you need to be very, very cautious, because if you start triggering this thing, it will actually summon a Warden, I think, like 3 times. You can see the darkness effect there. Although, I should probably get myself a milk bucket and show you this in better quality. So we'll get this. Let's trigger this real quick. This now for the Warden. The Warden's getting closer. It's so dark right now. One more time. Should summon this Warden. No. One more time. Come on, Mr. Warden. On Java, it's 3 times. There it is. Here is your Warden. Now, again, it doesn't have the Sonic attack, which is recently on Java Edition. It doesn't necessarily have all the Java features. However, the Warden is going to ruin this creeper right now. We actually have a mob that is willing to destroy creepers. Hey, if that isn't good, I don't know what is. But your Warden is here. But again, as a reminder, if you want to check out these features, make sure you have the experimental toggles enabled. If the wild update features are not enabled, you won't get the Deep Dark, you won't get the Ancient Cities, and you won't get your Warden. There is chests down here, but the loot hasn't been matched to Java Edition. So currently at the moment, there's not too many cool things to come down here for, unless you fancy your chances with the Warden. You'll find a couple of okay things, but nothing special. So yeah, it's good to see that this is finally here. Even if it is behind experimental, it just means that people who don't join beta or preview or like to play Minecraft on Switch and PlayStation can enjoy those features. They have added the Allay. And again, a quick reminder with this, it's not the new stuff in the beta, but the Allay is here. It's got no sound effects, it's got no cool things, but if you give it, if you give it that and you throw the items on the floor, like, it will pick them up and it will bring them to you, and you can get yourself a wonderful note block and place the note block down and play it, and it will let off vibrations. And what this mob will then do, let's pick that up. What this mob will then do is pick up these, and rather dropping them off to you, it will drop them off at this, which will be an automatic redstone system at some point. Now, what I want to do here is give it one of these, and then throw all of these on the floor, because I think does it still have the brokenness in this? I'm not sure if it does. No, it doesn't. No, it's actually okay in this version. Okay, so yeah, in beta, it would literally try and pick up every single color. Same with planks and things like that. So that shouldn't happen anymore. They have also added boat with a chest, and that is every single variation as well. Now, I do want to try something here. Let's get ourselves a boat. Let's get ourselves a chest. Is the recipe also broken in this? Boat, chest. No, okay. So in beta, it was broken for a long time. But yeah, the boat with a chest is here. A feature that I've wanted for a very long time in Minecraft. That's going to make adventuring and exploring absolutely awesome. One more thing I need to try here, though, is if we go to /game mode S and we break this, does it break the boat and the chest separately, or as one on Java Edition? It breaks them separately, which means you will then have to craft it again. But it's here. Go and enjoy it. So the goat horn is now in the game. Now, this is just a regular goat horn, and what I do want to say here is that we do currently have access to the copper. We'll just type in horn here. The copper horn is available currently in beta, but this is going to be a removed feature. Now, there's different sounds with this horn. They're super cool to mess around with. That is staying upon final release. There is a little bit of a cooldown, but there's so many different ones you can get. Ponder, sing, seek, admire, call, yearn, rest, fly, and feel. You can mess around with these as much as you like. And you can find them in outposts, but it also says the goat horn is dropped when a goat with at least one horn rams these blocks. Stone blocks, packed ice, iron ore, copper ore, emerald ore, or any kind of wood log from the overworld. So copper horn is here. Moving on, we have changes to the axe. Attacks with axes towards a raised shield will disable the shield for 5 seconds. Now, this is because of the Warden. However, mobs such as Vindicators and much more will also disable your shield. So we go to game mode survival, we summon this, and we protect ourselves. Hold on. For some reason, my shield decided to be on. Let's try it. Let's try it. Come on. Whenever I tap it, it's not working properly, but let's try it like this. Here you go. Shield is disabled. I gotta run. And obviously, this is the same for any mob that wields an axe. So this could be, come on. Come on. Just don't right click or tap, because it will actually activate your shield defense, which makes you vulnerable. So there's definitely a bug there. Let's hope that it gets fixed. Haha! The boat with the chest stops it. Great news! Spectator mode is here. Now, it does say known issues. Teleporting entities into unloaded chunks removes them from the world. This will be fixed in an up-and-coming update. Players are unable to invert the camera Y-axis when playing with touch controls. This will be fixed in an up-and-coming update. So Spectator mode is here. Let me teach you about this, okay? It does need to have experimental on. You do need to be in creative. You then need to type in /game mode 6. Now, the reason why is because it's not perfect. Yes, I'm flying. Yes, I have survival hearts. Yes, I can go through the floor. Now, chunk loading with this is very, very broken. It is not perfect, but it's here, and you can find things. Just right now, for me, it doesn't want to load in my world, but go and mess around with it. I promise you, Spectator mode is here. For some reason, my world is bugging out a little bit. The chunk loading really isn't perfect in Spectator mode. But for some reason, I'm in survival. I'm also starting to suffocate as if I'm in water. But yeah, upon final release, this will be a lot better. We're not going to be expecting to see this until 1.19. But for now, it is available for players to mess around with. And we found ourselves a mineshaft. So spectator mode is here, but it is not perfect. Let's get into fixes. Starting off with performance and stability. Fixed a crash that could occur during gameplay. Everybody's favorite. You know, when you play in Minecraft and your game just shuts down, you're like, but why? Yep, that's the change they have fixed. Fixed a crash that could occur when uploading corrupted worlds to realms. Fixed a crash that could occur upon leaving the zooming menu in the dressing room. Fixed a crash that could occur when hovering over the search bar in creative menu when playing with a controller. Fixed a crash that could occur on Android devices when suspending and resuming your game. So you know when you slide up your app to maybe check your texts or a phone call, whenever you went back into Android, it would freeze your game and crash. That's been fixed. Fixed a crash that could occur when stopping a Bedrock dedicated server. Gameplay changes. Fixed a crash where the mending enchantment would not always correctly consume XP orbs to repair. So let me show you this. / game mode S. If you had XP on the floor, this XP would not go to my mending shovel. It would prioritize me, the player, over giving me XP. But once this is full, the XP would then go to your XP bar. So finally, that change has been implemented. That's the second time that that issue has come back. It says here, players in visitor mode can no longer break signs and minecarts. Teleporting vertically beyond the invisible distance now loads terrain correctly. Fixed a bug where the player could switch to gliding when riding in certain scenarios. We got a bug report. So this one, again, was a problem in 1.17 betas. It has been finally fixed. This person crouching inside of their horse. Obviously, we know that's not meant to happen, but yeah, you can no longer activate fly mode in your horses, donkeys, or mules. Crouch, in brackets, sneak state, now resets when player dies to avoid getting stuck in crouch state after respawning. So you will no longer, when you die in this mode, respawn in this mode. You will respawn in this position, the upright position. The player's position when rejoining a world will remain the same if they quit when in lava. So if you were in lava, decided to quit the game, previously it would teleport you back on land, right? It was a very, very smart way for players to survive. People were doing it in caves, especially large quantities of lava, even inside the nether. That's no longer possible. If you're in lava, you quit the game and rejoin, you are going to stay in lava. Players can now fly down through ladders and other climbable blocks such as vines in creative mode without stopping. Finally, fixed a furnace exploit where items could be duplicated if the output slot was selected. Now, I tried to click on the bug report for this one, and you can't for some strange reason. I guess they didn't want people to know about it. Fire that existed before the fire tick game rule is enabled will continue to spread again. Now, we keep going because there is a lot of changes here. Vertical field of view is no longer halved in horizontal split screen, making items such as book and quill easier to view when playing in split screen. Fixed tick range check excluding chunks that were actually in range. World generation changes. Fixed duplicated end crystals spawning on top of end spikes. Improved surrounding terrain for structures such as villages during world generation. So you should see less obscure villages. Sometimes there was just like really weird platforms or floating platforms, or they were just generated really strangely. Go mess around with like world gen in your world and then load up the same seed in this one, and your villages will probably look slightly different. It says, fixed underwater lava lakes, not turned into obsidian during world generation. And we have a bug report. I thought this one was pretty cool, so I thought I would share it with you. Lava aquifers are still lava when underwater. I just thought it looked pretty cool. It just didn't generate as obsidian. Mobs. Villagers no longer avoid zombified piglins. Fixed an issue where villagers did not hold the item they would trade when presented with emeralds by the player. Mobs are now able to pathfind over azalea blocks. Mobs are now able to pathfind over drip leaf blocks and properly pathfind on top of them when not fully tilted. And also, mobs are now able to pathfind over pointed dripstone blocks, properly pathfind on top of them. So, yeah, if you had, like, pigs on them, on these, or, like, in here, they wouldn't jump out of there because for some reason this was classed as, like, a double block. It was, like, all the way up there, so the pig couldn't get out. Drip leaf, mobs couldn't pathfind over them, and things like this, they couldn't pathfind over them. So, you can see here, the pig actually escaped there. You can see they can walk on top of them now. Look at this guy showing us how cool he is. But yeah, those changes have finally been fixed. And it also says, mobs can now move properly on top of solid partial blocks, like bells, brewing stands, and enchanting tables. Same issue with these blocks over here. Again, they just didn't pathfind correctly. Mobs can now jump from high enough solid partial blocks to full ones at a higher position. Mobs can now jump over fences if they are standing on an adjacent slab or another block high enough. Mobs can now move through less than half block tall top snow when the ceiling, if any, is as tall as the mob themselves. Fixed a bug in the glow squid's texture where the glow map in the alpha channel was incorrect, causing patches of non-glowing texture to be seen. The glow squid wasn't glowing, funny enough. Fixed an issue where players could not access a villager's trading while holding a spawn egg. Very, very strange one. Fixed an issue where witches spawned during village raids could despawn during the raid. So it was really weird. In some cases, they would just disappear and the raid would continue. In other cases, it would just be a broken raid. Cod, salmon, pufferfish, tropical fish, and dolphins once again spawn in deep variants of ocean biomes. Fixed fangs from evoker spells not being spawnable in blocks with bounding boxes. Changed the spawning logic of iron golems and cats to make it easier for them to spawn in roofed areas like underground villages. So I had this exact problem. If you had a village underground, iron golems and cats would not spawn or would spawn in the walls to a point where they would die and suffocate. So the logic now of iron golems is they should spawn correctly if you have a village underground or just not on top of the overworld kind of thing. So yeah, that's a very, very good change. And fixed an issue where some large mobs in marketplace maps could get stuck. Hey, if you're still watching in today's video, you really are the MVP. We've only got so many changes to go through here, so stick around until the end. I really appreciate you. Shulkers no longer like to occupy the same block as another shulker, hence why you can duplicate your shulkers and make a shulker farm now. Shulkers now prioritize attaching to neighboring blocks facing before trying to teleport away. So if they can't teleport to the next face of a block, they will teleport away. Shulkers now stay attached to the current attached block face if it is valid instead of switching to the upright position. Changes with blocks. Fixed a lighting bug where the light level 1 incorrectly dropped to 0 when placing blocks in light level 1 with multiple light sources. Again, mobs were just able to spawn in certain circumstances. TNT no longer disappears when ignited with the TNT explodes game rule disabled. And the fire spread game rule enabled. Gravity affected blocks now fall on top snow when placed above it, instead of hovering over it. We got a bug report. Sand floats above snow layer. Yeah, like this. It's like Tetris. So that no longer happens, and this was not a bug, by the way, with the carpets, but anyway, they no longer float. Because if you try and do it now, the block actually breaks. So that's what will happen in your world. So if you ever have snow, and you ever have sand, and you notice that the sand is on the floor, it just means upon world generation that those blocks actually broke upon loading in. Fixed an issue with resource drops occasionally remaining black after breaking and placing a block quickly in its place. Top snow no longer clips with the block beneath when falling. Fixed an issue where interacting with the bell while holding a chargeable item would not continuously ring it. So if you were trying to, like, let me do this. There you go. So previously, if you try to do this, it would actually just pull it back and you'd be in this position. It also says, fixed an issue where projectiles would bounce off bells in a strange way. That no longer happens, but you can see here, like, after we fired it once, it wants us to just keep hitting the bell. So that's another change there. Removed water from the extra block when placing an amethyst cluster. We got a bug report. So again, was a problem in a lot of the 1.18 and 17 betas. Basically, whenever you had a cluster and you placed one next to it, it kind of acted as a full block and it wouldn't be waterlogged and the water looked really weird. Same with the dripstone too. Scaffolding can no longer be placed without support on y equals 0. Observers placed facing double chests no longer send out a redstone pulse when reloading, re-entering a chunk. Save structure blocks now correctly detect corner structure blocks at negative y levels. Breaking a layer of snow placed in the same block as a flower no longer destroys the flower. Changes with items. Custom armor can now be equipped with the use button when different armor is already equipped. Graphical changes. Fixed an issue that caused some emotes to have unintended rotations when near the end of their animation. Fixed a case where ray tracing resources would be destroyed permanently on level exit from an RTX enabled world. I never experienced that. Not too many more changes left. Fixed the stage 3 carrot texture not showing up in game due to an incorrect file name. Fixed a bug where the shield blocking animation stopped playing smoothly after blocking once. Fixed the crosshair disappearing when outline selection for blocks is disabled. Players that are on fire now render fire in front of the player on the inventory screen regardless of the in-game camera perspective. So for some reason, if you were on fire, your mini character would not be on fire if you were in a certain perspective. Again, I showed you all of these in the beta versions. Fixed a highlight effect on leather armor appearing on paper dolls when using higher anti-aliasing. User interface. Let's read the changelog. Here is your user interface changes. There is so many. I have no need to put all of these on signs. Go and read the changelog. It does say things like added an option in video settings to toggle anti-aliasing on Nintendo Switch. It also says fixed the loading screen when suspending and resuming the game while split screen on Nintendo Switch. Increased line spacing on the Realms Plus subscription has expired. Lots of changes with controller. Lots of changes have been introduced to the user interface. Feel free to go and read them. Some are more important than others. Like it says here, fixed an issue in the Pocket UI where items could be dropped unintentionally in blocks with custom UIs. And resized those screens to allow for dropping items on the sides instead. Improved contrast on the multiple UI elements. Again, tons of changes. The link is down below. And last but not least, technical updates. I want to know if anybody made it this far in today's video. Anyway, technical updates. The biggest technical updates we've ever seen. Trust me, there is tons. Updated add-on template packs, the RenderDragon info that I went over, additional modding capabilities. There is so many changes. If you're interested in modding Minecraft or the technical side, I highly recommend reading the changelog. I'm running out of space. I don't even know if anybody made it this far in today's video, but yeah, tons and tons of changes. Like I said, probably the biggest beta build I've ever reviewed. Oh boy, that was a very long video. Again, it took me quite some time to understand this before I could relay the information to all of you. But if you want to understand even more of these features in more detail, feel free to go to my beta videos for 1.18.20.x. X, etc., and 1.18.30, because that's where I covered all of this information. Some incredible changes this week, like the Warden, the Deep Dark, and the Ancient Cities, Spectator mode, and so much more. Alright, I need to go and sleep. It's been a long day. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.